Welcome back everyone. This week you better hang on to the edge of your seat because I'm coming to you with a wonder technique that's going to allow you to make all kinds of recipes. It's a simple French culinary technique that you can use to make all sorts of things. So on the menu today we're going to start with the famous French style fish quenelle, aka the fish dumplings, okay, that we're going to serve with a beautiful sauce, with cream, with cognac. We're going to use some scampis just for the taste, just to show you what can be done, but this is just the beginning. Using that same technique, which is extremely simple and straightforward, you can make lobster quenelle, shrimp quenelle, fish quenelle, poultry quenelle, meat quenelle, vegetable quenelles, anything you want. You can also make terrines, roulade, you can stuff chicken, things, and the list goes on. It is absolutely insane. And best of all, it works and it's simple. So what are we waiting for? So I'm sure that by now I've raised your curiosity and you must be wondering what on earth is that super technique with a name in French. It's a culinary technique you learn in French culinary school, you know, in the early days. It's called la farce mousseline. It is a stuffing, it is classified as a stuffing. And what it is very simple. It's a mix of fish or meat of choice or even vegetable that is blended with cream and eggs. You mix that in a food processor, it creates some kind of a paste, and you can use this as a stuffing for inside a chicken breast, inside a large fish, rolled into fish fillet. But by adding a modification like I'm going to do today, by adding butter on top of that, you can create beautiful French-style quenelle. So disclaimer, yes, what we're going to do today is not the typical Lyon-style quenelle. The real quenelles are made with a choux pastry flavored with fish fumé that you have to make before. And then it is mixed with the fish, with eggs, with butter, etc., etc. There's much more steps. And I think using that technique for home, it's absolutely brilliant because the result is amazing. You're not gonna see much difference with the real thing. And I've tasted it, I've tried it, it works and it tastes great. So, ingredients-wise, we're gonna concentrate here on just the mix you need for the quenelle. I'll show you the sauce afterwards, but this is what you need to concentrate on. So what we're going to be using, any types of fish that you want. If you want to make a fish one, if you have poultry, it can be chicken breast or anything. Has to be cold. Best thing, put it in the freezer. This is half frozen. And then eggs, plain butter, a bit of cream, and some seasoning. That's about it. And it all happens in a food processor. So let's get started. Okay, so let's start. Like I said, food processor, regardless if you're making the classic quenelle or this version, you always need to have a food processor, so you can't do without. The first thing you're going to do is to make sure everything is cold. So the bowl of your food processor has to be cold, and your fish, the best thing, you can freeze it and leave it kind of half frozen, and then start to processing. Processing, this is the first thing you're going to do, okay? So in there, and we're going to blend this. All right? Let's have a look. So, as you can see, my fish is now reduced to some kind of a paste. Okay, so what we're going to do here, I'm going to put my lid back on. Okay, and I'm going to turn this on and put the eggs straight in. And this is where we have to mix before putting the cream. It's very important, this. So on, and then 2 eggs. And we're going to blend to a smooth paste. Okay, done again. This is the result, all right? You can see, it's nice, it's like a paste. You want to do this before the cream because the cream can split if you mix it too much. So from here, immediately we're gonna season. So a good amount of salt, okay? Pepper in there, boom, nice. A little bit of cayenne pepper. It's up to you if you want it a bit spicy, okay? And we're gonna now grab the cream and the butter. Okay. So once you're here, basically, I'm going to put the lid back on. We're going to start blending again and slowly pour the cream and then the butter. Okay, so on. I'm taking my cream up, all of it inside. Very simple. Okay, and you see I'm leaving this a little bit like that, and then the butter inside, up, and I'm gonna wait 20 seconds or something like that. All right, should be done. I'll have a look. And this is it. So make sure your butter is a bit soft, otherwise you may have little clumps of butter. But basically, all in all, this is what you're getting. You see, a nice smooth paste. And that's it, you're done. And here we are. We are done. And when I said it was simple, this is it. Food processor, you put the ingredients in, you blend. This is like what, 1 or 2 minutes work, 3 minutes maybe? And you're done. This is the consistency we're gonna be using to make extremely delicious fish quenelle. If you replace the fish by something else like chicken or turkey or vegetables, you will get the same with different flavor. This is why this is a superb technique. So what I've done here is to make another batch. Why? Because this mix always have to rest in the fridge overnight. So once you're done, you're gonna put a plastic wrap in contact, you have to touch your dough here and leave it to rest for 12 hours. So I've got another batch in the fridge, I'm gonna take it out and we're gonna go with the cooking process and I'm gonna show you how to cook these and what do they become. Okay, so this is yesterday's batch. What do I mean when I said it needs to touch? When you put your plastic wrap on top of your preparation, it's touching it to avoid a crust. So we're gonna get rid of that. Up, no problem. And this is a snapper mousse that I've made yesterday. And you can see this is the test section that I've used. And we're gonna be using this and cook this. So how do you cook these? They have to be poached. Okay, very simple. We're gonna make little quenelles using a spoon and we're gonna poach this on simmering water. Let's go. So here we are on the stove. We're ready to cook the quenelles. They have to be poached in simmering water. So we're gonna get a pan. I've got some water in here. I'm bringing up to a simmer. I'm gonna add a little piece of garlic because you want some little bits of flavoring when you make something. A bit of salt in there. And that's it. For the rest, I've got my bowl with my farce mousseline, as we call it, hot water, and I've got the special spoon to make my quenelle. That's all what's needed. On the side, you can have a tray with a paper towel when we're gonna be draining the quenelle afterwards. My water is simmering, and now comes the time, of course, to make the quenelle, that kind of shape. And it can be a bit of a nightmare if you remember, like the chocolate mousse when I was trying to make quenelle. So the best technique I've ever found, that's the easiest. First off, you need a spoon that is kind of deep. You see, it's got that kind of thing. It has to be really deep, not a very shallow one. And the best thing, you have hot water here. I'm gonna plunge this in my simmering water, so it's gonna be very, very hot. Okay, that's what I'm doing on the side that you don't see. Make sure it's really hot. I'm gonna dry it up. Okay, and then using the spoon here, I'm gonna take some mixture and I'm gonna keep on rolling like that. You see? And you get that kind of shape. And then I'm gonna put this into my water. Okay, so simmering water, I've got my quenelle. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect. You're gonna detach it slightly, boom. And that's what we get. We're gonna have to cook this. You can put 2 or 3 at a time. Cook this for 15 minutes. And there we have it. So I've got my 4 quenelles, and this is how you cook them. Simmering water, you plunge them into water, you leave them for 15 minutes, and every 5 minutes we're gonna use a spoon and we're gonna turn them over. That's all what needs to happen. It is that simple. And as you can see, it's a clean business too. Huh? It's not falling apart. I can moving them around. You see there's a bit of foam everywhere, but it's not disintegrating or anything like this. It is solid. Time is up. I'm gonna turn my heat off and look at these little beauties. These are the quenelles. That's the result. So first, very briefly on a paper towel, and then in a plate. The paper towel is to remove the excess of water. And I'll show you the results. And there we have it. The fish quenelles are now ready. These are snapper quenelle. I could have made anything, but basically from here they're cooked and they're ready to be eaten if you so wish. First step, if you feel lazy, you can have this with a sauce hollandaise or a beurre blanc or anything like this. It's fine. You just pour the warm sauce over and you can eat it like this. What I am gonna do, I'm gonna do the bistro style. Well, we're gonna be making a sauce with the langoustine, with the cream and stuff like that. And we're gonna broil this covered in sauce in the oven to have the full effect. But look at the result. I mean, these are perfectly firm. They're bouncy, they're like little clouds, they're light, and honestly, they're great. It works. And now for the sauce. So you will find all the ingredients listed on the video description. I'm gonna go through quite fast because we do have an entire course dedicated to sauce making on the school if you're keen. Okay, this is something that resembles the sauce American I've done on the channel. I'll put the link in the video description. What I'm using here, you can use shrimp. I'm using scampi's, I think they're called langoustine, but you can use lobster, shrimps, anything you want. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take all of my freshly made fish stock, which has been jellified, and I'm going to reduce it. Next, I'm using a little sauté pan here, and I'm going to start by melting some butter, and we're going to cook scampis first. So what I'm after here is taste, okay? It's very important. I'm going to mix fish fumet with cream, and I want to have this seafood type of taste, okay? So high heat, and I'm just going to color these in my pan. Perfect. I'm going to add some garnish. So I've got the usual, the garlic, the carrots, the celery, it's a bit of a mirepoix. I've got some leeks on here. Mix that with the butter. Okay, and mix with everything. A little bit of salt and pepper. Here comes the pepper in there. Okay, boom. And for the color, I'm going to add a little bit of tomato paste. Always good. Reduce my heat a little. I'm gonna mix this. If there's not enough butter or oil, it's up to you. You can add a bit more. I'm gonna reduce to medium and leave this for 1 or 2 minutes. So all what I'm doing here is a flavored cream. That's it. So I'm gonna raise my heat because I'm gonna add some cognac, just about 1 or 2 tablespoons. All right. So we're gonna be waiting until this heats up and then put the cognac in. Okay, we should be good. I'm gonna try to lid that up very quickly. Be careful you don't have your exhaust fan on. And then mix again, and that's gonna be it. I'm gonna put my cream. You got these beautiful, fumes, and then all the cream in. Reduce my heat, and I'm just gonna mix that in. So I am not doing the technique where basically you could crush and pass this through a food processor. Here I'm doing the lazy version, which is just infusing the cream, leave it to reduce to capture some of the taste, and I'm going to mix it with my fish fumet, that's it. So my cream here is ready. I've reduced the heat to the minimum, and you always have to taste your preparation, okay? You see, I think a bit of pepper in here. And my taste, I like cayenne. I'm gonna add a little pinch of cayenne in here. What's happening with these, the little tails, they're gonna be poached in the fish fumet. I'm gonna poach them for a few minutes. And boom, I'm gonna turn my heat off for the cream. The cream is ready, that's it. Now we're gonna move on with the fish fumet, check it out, and I'm gonna mix the two together. All right, so let's recap very quickly. So my fish fumet here is reducing. I've poached the scampis on here. That's going to give some flavor. I'm going to reserve this in a bowl because now they're cooked, and we're going to use that flesh for the serving. Now, all what we're doing basically, we're reducing some fish fumet to concentrate the flavor, and I've made a cream also with flavor, and we're just going to combine the two as simple sauce. So all what I'm going to do now is to take all of my cream. Like I said, this is a lazy version. You could process this in a food processor to extract all of the seafood flavor. But I'm not going to get out the food processor and everything. I'm just doing the lazy version. You can, on the other hand, press down like that. The only thing left to do now is to reduce the sauce to a spoon coating consistency, and then we're ready to assemble. Okay, so I think I'm done. Look at this color. Now it's a bit darker. Spoon coating consistency. You take your spoon, you put your hand, you can see that mark. We are done. Heat off, and we're going to dress up. Okay, so we are ready to dress. I'm gonna serve this the bistro style. This is the way you get the quenelle in France or in Lyon. It's always covered in sauce and broiled in the oven. So you're gonna have to preheat your oven at 190 degrees Celsius. I'll put the equivalent Fahrenheit. And I'm using almost the top shelf. It's the third shelf. It's not the very top one. There's 4 shelves, so the third one. And I've got both elements, and the broiler on the top is on. It's going to be a matter of 10 minutes. So how we serve this? We've got a little container. This is the flesh from one of the scampi. This is freshly poached in the fish fumet. I'm going to place, let's say, two quenelles in here. And I'm going to pour some sauce over, making sure I'm going to filter the sauce. I'm going to use a little, because it was a bit grainy, this type of sauce. And I'm going to use this, and we're just going to add some sauce on here. Okay, you got the idea. All done. So this is how it looks like just before you put them in the oven. I've moved the scampis out of the way like this. We've got the quenelles that are half submerged into the sauce, very important. And you're going to see that when we're going to put this in the oven, it's going to color, it's going to bubble up, and it's going to look amazing. And then, of course, the tasting. Okay, I've just virtually taken them out of the oven, and this is how it looks like, I'm trying to move this, but it's like virtually impossible. Look how it's kind of puffed away again. You got that little crust and that beautiful sauce. And this is basically snapper quenelle with fresh langoustine flesh served with a langoustine cream sauce. Okay, let's dig in. Okay, so here they are. First thing I'm gonna do is to dig in here with a little piece of the langoustine and taste the sauce after it's reduced again. Oh, shivers. Wow, it is intense. It really tastes like seafood now. It's nicely reduced. But most important is, so see there's a little, oh, see how firm, look at this. Look at that. Look, I don't know if you can see, but look at the consistency of inside of these. It's like a mousse. See, it's bouncy. Look at that. Wow. So what you do basically, you gorge yourself. And by taking a little piece here, it must be hot, I have to be careful. Honestly, super light. So when you talk about quenelle, what you want to have is this very light mixture. You see how it's a texture like a mousse-like, and you want something really light. And with that sauce, you want to have it liquid like this, because you want to have it like a nice spoonful of sauce with the quenelle. And that's it anyway, we are done. Look at this picture. The quenelle is amazing, using that wonder technique, the farce mousseline. Yes, it's not the original quenelle, but trust me, this is really restaurant quality. And remember, you can use anything you want, fish, poultries, turkey, vegetables. So if you make different versions, share your pictures on Instagram, hashtag French Cook Academy, because I'm so curious to see what you guys are gonna come up with that recipe, because once you start using this, you're gonna be like, why didn't I use this before? And of course, the sauce. Don't forget to make a nice sauce. If you don't know about sauces, remember, sauce course in the video description. You can learn all about it. But that's it for me. I'll leave you with this picture, and please join me again next week for another French cooking recipe on the channel. See you all. Take care all. Bye bye.